radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Welcome, Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, how you doing? Today's Wednesday, December 12th, 2018. 346 days into the new year, just 19 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planets. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? I'm in a great mood. It's Wednesday. What a great week, right? Monday night, Billy Carson. Night one of our Influencer Week. Last night, Carrie Cassidy was here. Pretty good conversation with Carrie last night, wasn't it? Yep. And tonight, night 3 of our Influencer Week, Tyler Glockner from Secureteam is joining the show tonight. This is his first ever interview. What a privilege. Pretty cool. Tyler, tonight. And now, what I find interesting, and we'll, of course, be discussing this tonight, but what I find interesting with Tyler is that you hear his voice, you see the videos, but that's all you get, right? That's all you've gotten. You hear the voice. You know, who is Tyler, right? Who is this young man? Well, tonight we're both. Now, I have met Tyler, just so you know, and we didn't get a chance. I can't believe it. And it was one of those things. We chatted for a few minutes, and I ended up, I think my car was pulled up, and we split, Rita and I didn't get a chance to take a picture. Otherwise, we would be posting that right now. But I have met Tyler, and I walked away thinking to myself that he needs to tell his story right there. That guy. So tonight he is with us right here on Fade to Black, and I'm going to break it all down with Tyler. We have all the time in the world to do that, but I want to know about his gear. I want to know about his studio. I want to know about his house. I want to know about his family. I want to know who Tyler is. And tonight, because of how we do Fade to Black, and you're always sitting there right next to me when I do this, you're going to do the same thing. And hopefully we'll be able to peel back that mysterious onion a few layers and see what makes Tyler tick. And we're going to do that tonight on the show. Tomorrow night is another Fader night with Teresa Yannares and Divine Frequency on the airwaves, followed by open lines all night long. All right, you know what to do. OnStellar, onstellar.com. I'm a big social media guy. You can chase me down over at OnStellar. You can send me your friend request and messaging and all of that stuff that goes down over there. You can write your articles. I read those. I post from time to time, and you can go check out on Stellar.com. It is a great social media platform built for us. Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. And if you have any questions for myself or Tyler tonight, hashtag F2BQ. All right. Facebook and YouTube, you know what to do there. And all the links for all of our social media is over at jimmychurchradio.com. All right. There you go. It's going to be a great show tonight. It has been an amazing week here on Fade to Black. And I want to get to some breaking news. Oh, email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Okay. Breaking news. Today, I was wondering how this was going to shake out. UK Prime Minister Theresa May survived a vote of no confidence triggered by members of her own party over her handling of Brexit. The results were announced by Graham Brady, a member of Parliament who chairs the 1922 committee, which represents Conservative lawmakers in the House of Commons. The vote was pretty overwhelming, too, 200 versus 117. And I am very confused about British politics, by the way, and I know those over in Britain. No, it's actually very simple. Well, okay, maybe so, but as read as I might, as try as I might, I just can't figure you guys out over there. And I've worked for a couple of British companies, a few, and I've done a lot of hanging out, right? And you would think, but I can't figure it out. But this is an interesting thing to go and do, right? Especially in your own party. Not like an impeachment or a hearing. They just go, you know what? I don't care about yesterday. Today we talk. Tomorrow we're going to vote. You're in or out. It's like that. I mean, it is just, whoo, right? No playing around. And nobody really, at least over here in the United States, I didn't know this was happening. And it was just like we got the news on it, and then they were voting the next day. Crazy. But she's good for another year. Apparently, they can't do this again now. The no vote. Wow, that is just crazy. 200 to 117. All right. Also, breaking news, and I was watching this go down. I was watching Twitter, and I was getting text out of our friends in Tennessee in the wee hours earlier today. Not one, but two earthquakes hit in eastern Tennessee. That's right. And if you didn't hear about this, the earthquakes were strong enough to be felt in Middle Tennessee and even reached Atlanta. The U.S. Geological Survey, the USGS, reported the earthquakes registering at 4.4 and 3.3 magnitudes, respectively. The quakes developed near Decanter, Tennessee. Yeah, nuts. I was in Memphis. This is probably 1988. I'm going with 88. I was at my parents' house, and I remember an earthquake. I totally remember that. And I was like, what is going on here? I thought this only happened in L.A. On Wednesday, December 26th, Fade to Black is having our annual holiday party, Christmas party, at the world-famous Rainbow Bar and Grill on the Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California. So start making your plans now. Circle that date on your calendar. Rita's going to post it up right now in Twitter, and head over to Facebook if you could, and just let us know right there if you are going to be attending. That is Wednesday, the day after Christmas, December 26th. It's going to be great. Fade to Black is invading Hollywood. Come and join us right there. And also the 2019 Conscious Life Expo is coming up. Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton. And this year we are celebrating the anniversary, the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken. And I'll be hosting the panel with Eric, Linda Moulton Howe, Jason Martell, Billy Carson, and David Wilcock. All right, so just click on the CLE banners over at jimmychurchradio.com. 50 speakers. It's going to be amazing. Full tickets and info and a conference schedule are right there, consciouslifeexpo.com. Last night, for all of you Fadernauts that are looking on the bunker cam, I held this up to the camera last night. This is night vision. Okay? That's the new Orion. Yeah, you can actually get this. Look at how cool that is. Fits in the palm of your hand. Just a tiny little guy. And here's the cool thing. Right on top, a record button. Isn't that thing unbelievable? And it's on sale right now. That is only $600. And you can get that from Hoffman's Optics. It's got a tripod mount, and it is absolutely incredible. Go and get yours right now. Hoffman'sOptics.com. All right, I'd like to bring on, which we do. We do this about once a month, sometimes a little more often. But, my favorite radio host / health and awareness guy, Ronnie McMullen, is here from Life Change Tea. Ronnie, good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, Jimmy?
I am doing fantastic. Ronnie, do you have night vision?
No, I don't.
You need to get yourself some night vision, man.
I do. I'm trying to still work on my day vision, but I definitely need to go night vision.
But bump. You need night vision, especially out there at the McMullen Ranch. You guys could go out at night in that backyard of yours and look up. I know you guys have the most amazing stars, right?
Maybe we'll see the next plane flying in.
Oh yeah, I know. You're right next to an airport. That's right. But you need to get yourself some night vision, man.
I know. I was thinking about it when you did the little plug there. I was like,
yeah, no,
this might be cool.
I know.
This might be a cool thing.
This unit is digital, as opposed to the other units which have a tube inside. Right? They actually have a tube. But yeah, really, really cool unit. So anyway, what I wanted to ask you before we move on: how are the holidays going?
The holidays are going good. I did my last of my Christmas shopping, and I just wonder if the holidays are the days of great stupidity for me, or if they're just what? Because are you ready for this? I went and bought a puppy.
Oh no, you did not. What did you find? Boy or girl?
Boy.
Oh man, what'd you get?
I bought a little boxer.
Oh man. What color?
I guess
what color?
Boxers are usually brindle or they're white or they're fawn, brown, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Black and white.
Oh man, you know why they call them boxers? They box.
They do.
They box.
I have a white boxer. He's 8 years old, and I'm not even sure how he's going to take to this little baby boy, but it's going to be interesting.
This isn't your first boxers. Oh, okay. All right. So
not my first boxer. It's actually about my fourth, but I've never had a black and white one. I've never, in fact, 2 days before that, our T-car raced in Laughlin, Nevada. By the way, we finished second. So the car is doing very well.
You finished second in the big Laughlin race.
Yeah, Raging River. Yep, we finished second, and we raced our pre-runner, which is that's a bad boy car, and we did the Sportsman Challenge, and we got first place in that one.
Congratulations, man! I mean that.
Yeah, it's exciting. So then anyway, where I was going with this is on right next to our race car, somebody pulled up, and they were camping because you kind of camp out there and stuff. And there was a black and white boxer, first one I'd ever seen in my life. And 2 days later, I find one for sale. So anyway, weird me, lost my mind, must be Christmas time. I bought this boxer. And so tonight, it will be my first night of no sleep in quite a while.
Wow, what's his name?
I named him Chester.
Chester. Right on, man. Puppies are addictive. We have 4 dogs.
Oh my gosh!
And
you know what I'm talking.
Yeah,
the training thing is tough, though, isn't it?
Well, it is, but there's something about. Look, I can't say no to a puppy. I can't.
I need to learn.
I can't. I know. We have 4 dogs, and I don't know how we don't have 10. To be honest with you, I see a puppy, a kitten. I can't say no to that stuff. Well,
it's a wonder you don't have all kinds of animals in your house.
Yeah, a baby hedgehog. You can't say no to that stuff.
I know.
So,
I know.
What I wanted to ask you, this is our influencer week here on Fade to Black, and And on Monday night, we had Billy Carson here. He's got over 2 million, followers, right, in social media. It's absolutely nuts. Last night, we had Carrie Cassidy on, who has been influencing this community through YouTube and her interviews for 10 years or longer. And with a huge fan base, right? Tonight, we have Tyler Glockner on from Secureteam. And when you look back, you've been a radio host and a UFO guy and conspiracy researcher and host for many, many, many years. So I wanted to ask you, who influenced you going into this? My list, I'm going to give you my list, and maybe I'll warm you up to this. But if we go back, for me, Bill Cooper, right? Mm-hmm. Tom Mayhood, of course, yeah. Art Bell, who came along a little bit later. Glenn Campbell, who ran the original UFO Mind website. Of course, Eric Von Daniken, right? He's probably the first guy that I started reading back in the day. Graham Hancock, John Anthony West, Robert Schoch, Robert Bivall, of course, Linda Moulton Howe. And more recently, you can't leave Richard Dolan off of that list, but he didn't influence me in 1995. But there's Richard Dolan. So, who influenced you when you started this?
My first touch of it actually wasn't one of the people that you talked about, because at the time I was a minister, and so there was somebody else. But the second person which was on your list, would be Art Bell. Art Bell influenced me. I mean, I remember the first few shows I listened to, I'm like, what? And after listening to him, pretty soon you're like, whoa, right? And so I would say Art Bell. God rest his soul. I would say it would be Art Bell.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He influenced so many, including myself.
Because he brought so many people on the board.
Right.
And so Art Bell was the opening door of the whole congregation of people that you didn't know. And
right.
You're like, well, who's this guy?
Right.
Who's this person? I remember listening to Linda Moulton Howe. I was like, whoa, this chick got it going on.
Right, right.
And he was the open door to all of that. So I would definitely say Art Bell.
Yeah, and now, and looking at today, I've always said that ufology and this world that we live in right now is in good hands. There's always a changing of the guard. It's the cycle of life. That's just what happens. And we've got a lot of new, fresh faces on the scene. How much are you on top of that, and who do you think is influencing the scene today?
I'm not sure. I think it's peppered. I think it's a lot of different guys. I think it's peppered. I think it's 4, 5, 6. I don't know. I think it's definitely peppered. So multiples.
Well, the reason why
I don't carry favorites.
Well, no. I understand,
because they all have a piece of the puzzle.
And there is this community has got solid footing, and the younger crowd that is here today. When you go to these conferences and you've attended them, and when you walk around and you see such a diversity of ages. And if you go up to somebody that's, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old and start having a conversation with them, what you find is they are well researched. They are awake. Their eyes are open, and they really know what's going on. And they have their favorites. I think they respect, the Graham Hancocks of the world, or Linda Moulton Howe. Certainly there's that. But they're another generation, those millennials and under, right? They've got their own representation out there that they're going to pay attention to, because they speak their language, and they also communicate, whether it's through social media or have a way of presenting that they understand. And I look back at this, and I'm pretty proud. I know that we're moving forward.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm not sure about, because I'm just getting back into it again a little bit, and that's not really the whole direction I want to go with in radio. But the one thing that I see sometimes, I'll put it this way. The one thing I see that has happened in the past, clear back many years ago when I was doing this, was the abductees are kind of forgotten about. And when you talk about being influenced, I think the first real abductee that I interviewed, she blew my mind. How she could even carry a conversation and be halfway normal. I mean, she's very normal. Blew my mind. And she wasn't lying. Some people will get on there was nothing in it for her. All she wanted to do was warn. And so that is a powerful thing. And sometimes the people that are trying to get the word out forget about the abductees, and they're the ones that are on the inside. They know what happened. They know what's going on. They know what's going to happen. So that's probably one that really influences me and makes me take a step back and say, I don't know nothing. I know. I just need to report what I get.
You need to say it like I say it. I don't know nothing.
Yeah. See, yeah, you say it much better. But that's exactly how I feel.
I know. And I've talked to so many abductees. And when I go through my mind's eye, and then we'll move on. But I go through my mind's eye, and I land on one specific person every time. And you would think it would be like Travis Walton, and he's great, and I love that guy to death. He's such a cool guy. Yeah, he's a great guy. But no, it's Barry Littleton. And Barry, we met up at ECETI a couple of years ago. And I listened to his presentation, and I got a chance to hang out with him. And then I immediately, brought him on Fade to Black and Coast to Coast. And he had never done interviews. He had never done anything like that. I think he lives he's in the Midwest, like Oklahoma, and he's black. And so that is now you're in rarefied air in ufology, right? That's a very unique situation. And you sit and you listen. He's a funny guy. He's a cool guy. He's professional. He's educated. He's got all the academic, credentials, and he's a professional in life. But you sit and you listen to him, and you're not going to, tell a guy like Barry, come on, man, right? You just can't do that. And you listen to Barry, and you realize that you don't know nothing. That's exactly that's what you back up off of. Because
I don't know nothing.
I know nothing.
Karina Sables is who did it for me. And when she went forward, backwards, and I've interviewed her many times, and the story never changes by not 1 millimeter. And, and it's hard. It's hard. And, especially when some of them break down emotionally, that makes it really hard for me. So.
Really quick,
through it.
Let's man, you and I always run out of time. I want to tell you what I want to tell you what happened to me 2 days ago. I woke up and I went, okay, I'm getting sick. Right? I had this thing at the back of my throat. I was like, I knew it too. I was like, oh man, I haven't been sick in years. Right? So I jump out of bed. And I immediately go to my drops, right? And I double dosed on pine bark, right? I double dosed on moringa. I double dosed on olive leaf extract. And I triple dosed on my liquid vitamin C, right? And then I did the 1,000 milligram CBD, double dosed. And I did the same thing yesterday morning, right? Yeah. I'm perfect. It got scared. What is what is going?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I know. Is it the combination of everything? I'm not so sure if the vitamin C would have done it. Of course, it helps, and then you have the CBD. But is it the combination of the pine bark and the olive leaf and the moringa and the vitamin C and the CBD?
Yeah, you're covering all the angles. you know, and Allison too is another really incredible one too.
Right.
You know, Allison Advanced.
Right.
But yeah, you know, when you pound 5, 6 things, 7 things, and you're starting to kind of get something, you're going to kind of not have something. So, I mean, your body says, "Hey, you're helping me out. Good to go."
I had that little thing, you know, at the back of the throat, and you know the sore throat is coming on, and I'm great. You know, I haven't been sick in so long. You've spoiled me, Ronnie, and I'm not kidding about that. My health is totally changed. Where before, you know, like everybody else, you know, every 6 months, you know, once a year, you get that 6-day, 1 week cold. And you just, oh man, it hasn't happened to me in so long. It's like I have forgotten about that part of my life. What have you got?
There's stuff going around too.
I know. I don't know about it. Doesn't affect me. Right? It doesn't affect me.
Yeah. And, you know, with everything they're putting in the air and the water, I mean, the tea needs to be happening. You know, CBD is helping your immunity. We can go on and on. I mean, that's why I do what I do. Because when it comes to other stuff, I don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing. Okay, so what do you have on special right now?
Oh man, this is it. This is it. All the listeners need to get their ear peeled and listen to this. This is the best sale of the year. So when you go to getthetea.com, when you buy 2 months of tea, you get 1 month more for free. So that's $35.
Say that one more time.
So you buy 2, you get 1 free. And it's not just today, you know, there's a few days left. So you buy 2, you get 1 free. Now, what's really cool this year that we weren't able to do last year, because we have that same sale and a lot of people know. They're like, we're not buying any until we hit that sale.
Right.
But what's cool this year is we have the peppermint, we have the pomegranate, and we have the regular super tea. And you can get all 3 of those, and you're only going to pay for 2. So you can get, you know, all super tea. You can get a 3-pack. And we even have, for those people with glucose issues, we even have the takedown tea, buy 2, get 1 free. So, I mean, it is a sale. And it doesn't last a whole long time, but it lasts long enough for you to get some. And here's the other thing that's really cool. So you buy 3 and you pay for 2 and you get 3. So you can do that 2 times, 3 times, whatever. In other words, there's no limit. So if you want to get, you know,
a year's supply,
year's supply,
right,
you're going to save money.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. And if they use the promo code FADER, FADER, do they even get free shipping on top of that?
Yes.
Oh, Randy. I'm looking at
I could be Randy.
I'm looking at Twitter. Everybody's all fired up about this. And
it's good. And here, real quick, and then so over there, if we just hop over and go to ancientlifeoil.com,
yes,
we've got the chocolate mint 250 and a pet. You know, we were talking about pets earlier and loving pets. A pet 250, and you save money on that when you buy those 2.
And this is what they're saying in Twitter. That's how you nip it in the booty. Right there. Life Change Tea.
Right.
Thank you
and
so
this
much.
Is something I do know something about, but when it comes to the other stuff, I don't know nothing.
Ronnie McMullen, Life Change Tea. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Happy holidays to you.
You too. Thank you very much.
Ronnie McMullen, Life Change Tea. The links are over. Ancient Life Oil, Life Change Tea right there at jimmychurchradio.com. And the promo code is FADER, FADER. And that's the only sale that he does all year. Like you said, you can get a full year supply. All right. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. When I come back after this short break, Tyler Glockner of Secureteam. Stay with me. We'll be right back.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on jimmychurchradio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's a holiday season with hope in the air. Things to look forward to and no time for despair. Health can be a challenge, and so can the mail. So Get the Tea wants to help you by giving you a sale. Buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month for free. No limit. That's buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month free. That's a savings of $35. Where? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Scroll down on the front page and find the Buy 2, Get 1 free ad. Click it and save. Orders over $100 get free shipping. Send the gift of life. Change tea at GetTheTea.com. We have many non-GMO organic supplements just waiting for you. This holiday season, enjoy health and Thanksgiving with GetTheTea.com. Want to call us? 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. GetTheTea.com is a proud sponsor of doing what's right. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. It's Influencer Week here on Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Monday night, we had Billy Carson. Tuesday night, Carrie Cassidy. Tonight, it's Tyler Glockner of Secureteam. Tyler is only 32 years old, and in just 7 years, he has built Secureteam into one of the most popular YouTube channels with nearly 2 million subscribers. This channel was built for those who seek the latest alien and UFO-related videos and leaks and information, But from its humble beginnings as a mere idea back in 2011 to the establishment of the channel that you see today, Secureteam has become the information source to those millions of answer-seeking individuals and where they go to each day. Through thousands of videos posted, nearly 2 million subscribers, and almost 1 billion total views. It's extraordinary numbers. Secureteam has broken the boundaries of traditional reporting and taken UFO research into the internet age. Everybody knows where to find Secureteam. And it is right there on YouTube. The links for Tyler's channel is over at jimmychurchradio.com. And you can click. And I would like to welcome, for the first time to Fade to Black, the first time anywhere, Mr. Tyler Glockner. Tyler, good evening. How are you, man?
Good evening, Jimmy. It's really good. It's an honor to be on your show. Thanks for having me. Really, really cool.
Yeah, welcome. Shake it out, Tyler. Shake it out, man.
Trying to run around. The last second, my computer system went dead. Found out it was a plug that had got disconnected, and I was running back and forth trying to get this all set up to work, and right at the last minute I did, so that's why I'm out of breath a little bit.
I'll post everybody our text in the last 5 minutes. Right? Tyler. Okay, so anyway, welcome to the show, and this is the deal before we get started. You're a first-time guest, and so you get the first-time guest disclaimer, and you probably thought I forgot about that, but I didn't, Tyler. So here it is. It's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends. And where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends. But we're going to end as friends. There you go. All right. You ready?
Good. Ready.
All right. Now, 32, right? 32 years old.
Yes, sir.
I've met you. You look like you're 18. And which is great, right? That's great. But
well, thank you.
Did you expect this? Let's go back for a second. I want to discuss, of course, your past and your interest in UFOs. We're going to do that. But your influence on the community today is tremendous. Do you recognize the pressure? And did you think that you would be here?
Well, no. I honestly. And I've formed this opinion over the years of being on YouTube. I don't think anybody, at least when they're young and they're trying to find a career, ever expects that they're going to end up on YouTube for a career. I just think, that's one of the more far out there goals that not many people have. And it was strange. So, yeah, of course, up until it kind of just happened, I guess, out of, a little bit of luck, a little bit of whatever I put into it. It happened for some reason, but it certainly wasn't expected. And to your other question, the pressure of it all, and I know we're getting probably a little ahead of ourselves, but the pressure of being one of the biggest, if not the biggest, UFO research outlet, whatever you want to call it, on YouTube, it's very taxing. We'll just say a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of stress, a lot of worrying, a lot of having to re-record videos, hoping that I said something right or that I didn't say something good enough. I mean, yeah, it's definitely pressure, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. It's the most fun experience I've ever had.
Did you go to school for journalism or editing videos, anything at all?
No. I'm a typical Ohio kid. I did decent in high school. I considered college, obviously, but at the time, whether it was for monetary reasons, with the worry of having student loans over my head for years down the road, I just chose to stick at home. And another big part of that was the birth of our son when we were just around 18 and 19 years old. So that kind of shifted that from being able to go to college to, okay, I need to get to work quick and we need to take care of our son. So that's kind of what it was. Yeah.
Wow.
No college.
Wow. And so, there are kids listening right now, which is great, right? Where that their parents are going to go to them and go, okay, well, where are you going to go to college? I'm not going to go to college. Well, why not? You need to be something. I can be Tyler Glockner. right?
No.
Right?
Way easier said than done, my little friends.
Oh, man. But you had a son. I didn't know that about you. You had a son at the age of 18?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a very private person. Aside from what people hear in my videos and what I choose carefully to talk about, most people don't know about my personal life. But,
right.
It is true that I do have a son. I've posted some pics of him here and there wearing my Secureteam shirt on Twitter and stuff. And, yeah, the truth is we did have a son at a young age. And so, it was a blessing. It helped me grow to be a better person and a dad. And it brought me and my fiance closer over these years, and we've been together for 15 years now. We met in high school, had our son at 18 or 19, moved down south and found a house together, and that's kind of when I started dabbling in YouTube. Not so much because I wanted to do YouTube, but more just because we needed to pay the bills. We're a couple of struggling 20, 21-year-old kids trying to make it in a small town where there's not much work. I've always loved computers since I was 6 years old, always wanted a laptop for Christmas. And so, yeah, I just, one day I was looking at that laptop and I said, you know what, maybe I can do something with this. And that was pretty much history all she wrote. That's where it began.
Now, what about your interest in UFOs 10 years ago or growing up? Did you always have an interest?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think most people have an interest, whether that's, a more crazy, diehard interest or just a mere, inkling that there's something out there more than us. And I think it interests everyone. And mine was just the same. I wasn't particularly diehard. I had known about Area 51 and all the kind of things you learn about on TV or in movies. But it didn't, at the time, again, it just didn't give me any kind of an idea of what I would be doing years later. So I guess what originally got me into it was, I used to watch X-Files back in the day. I'm a 90s kid. Mm-hmm. And then once we moved south and I'm in my, 22, 23, I have our little boy, I start getting on the laptop. And of course, at that time, 2006, 7, YouTube's growing and you're seeing some conspiracy sites start to pop up. And actually one of the very first websites or channels on YouTube that actually probably, if not the one that got me into this, or at least made me look further, was listening to Carrie Cassidy,
right?
Project Camelot,
right.
Who you just had on.
Right.
She was the first. She was like a pioneer for YouTube as far as channels talking about this subject. And back then, when she was doing it with her husband, I can't for the life of me think of his name at the moment.
Bill Ryan.
But yeah, Bill Ryan, awesome guy. And I just remember listening to her. There was one particular interview where she was just kind of duking it out with Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer.
Famous video.
And to this day, it's one of my favorite videos, watching these two very stern and hard-headed, smart minds sort of battle against one another. And I always remember that. And it was just the entire presentation of Project Camelot and seeing Carrie talk, it really made me think, wow, maybe I could start up a little channel and post about stuff that I think's cool. And it was as simple as that. It was never, I'm going to create an empire. It was never, this is going to be my career. But hey, in the meantime, while I'm looking for work around here in this crappy little town in the South, maybe we can do something on YouTube. And that's how it happened. I got some real cheap equipment and started posting my very first videos, 5-6 years ago. Can't exactly remember when, but it was back at around probably 2011.
Now, tell me about the genesis of the name, and also, where did the 10 come from?
Well, a lot of people ask me this question, and granted, there's a lot of channels out there, and a lot of them have really strange names, and you always have people asking, where did that name come from? There's got to be something behind it. And unfortunately,
you don't have a story.
That's just not how it was with Secureteam. I think I was signing up for an account because, again, had I known what this was going to become, I may have done a little more research in choosing my name. But for some reason at the time, Secureteam just sounded right to me for some reason. I don't know if it was destiny or fate or what it was, but I was like, I just like the ring of Secureteam. Don't ask me why. So then I went to register it with Google, and they said, well, that name's taken. So you'll have to add a number 10 on the end of it or a number 9. And so, well, all right, I'll add the number 10. And so that's what I did. And it quickly became Secureteam 10. And people are always asking to this day, well, where's the team at? Is it just you?
Yeah,
where's this secure team?
Yeah. Well, I thought, okay, there must be a Secureteam 9, Secureteam 8.
That's what I've heard as well. And
Right.
I said, well, maybe there were, maybe someone else tried to create a Secureteam 10 and saw the 10 was taken, so they made a 9. But the thing is that
Just run with it. Just run with it, Tyler.
I ran with it, and to this day, when people ask me that question, well, who's the team? I say, well, we're all the team. We are all the team here. We're all working together. So it all kind of fit in the end with the name of the channel, because I do believe we're all a family. We're all a team trying to get answers and working together.
Secureteam.
And we are secure in that search.
Well, you could, Secureteam 9 is in Moscow. Secureteam 8 is in Paris. Secureteam 7, right? So
I can see it.
Yeah, and I can't talk about them, but I can talk to you about Secureteam 10.
Yeah.
But very interesting. Now, obviously, I have the questions that I'm going to ask are what everybody has thought about. When I started, a little disclaimer here. I will say that, yes, Tyler is on with us tonight. This is his first interview. But he did reach out to me. I'm going to guess here, Tyler, you probably remember better than I, because I don't know exactly when it happened. But you reached out to me like 3 years ago, didn't you?
I believe so.
Yeah, and I didn't get Tyler's message for a number of months, and that was my fault. But I did reply back. But back then, see, this is the thing. You were aware of Fade to Black. I was aware of you, and our paths you would have been on this show 3 years ago had I been more adept at knowing how to navigate YouTube. But anyway, as I was back then, I was going and watching your Secureteam videos, and the first thing that I thought about, and I think about it every time that I do watch your videos, is where's Tyler getting this stuff? Obviously, you're big enough now where people are sending you things. But back in the day, at the beginning of things, when I was checking you out, that was some pretty revolutionary things going on. Take me through that. Where were you getting these videos?
Well, a lot of it was, what was so crazy to me was that even when I had just started the channel and let's say I had 20 subscribers, but even with that and with the few videos that I had posted, because there was such a scarcity of YouTube channels that dealt with this topic, there was sort of a hunger that I felt from people who had video, who had photos, who wanted to get it out, who had been probably waiting years to get it out. So although the channel was new and by all accounts probably looked dead, it certainly wasn't, because the moment I set up an email, the emails started coming in. Now, they wouldn't flood into what I'm getting today, which is thousands a week. I can't keep up, but they would start coming in, people sending in footage, photographs. So I would go through those. I would, do research just right off the internet through good old Google. I would study other researchers, things about the moon, things about space, the Apollo missions, the photographs that they took up there, and I would download them and analyze them. And, a lot of the very first videos I posted were regarding the moon, because the moon Yeah, I mean, to this day, still is probably my favorite topic just because of so many mysteries surrounding it. So if you remember back in the early days of Secureteam, a lot of my videos were, what is this anomaly on the moon? Let's look at this photograph from one of the missions. Every now and then I'd have an actual UFO video someone had sent me, and I just somehow made it work. I took what I could get from people sending things in. I took what I could find online that, yeah, maybe other people had posted about it on some website somewhere, but I was able to, whether it was skill or whatever, put it into a cool little package and upload it to YouTube, and it worked out, and people seemed to like it. So back in the early days, and another thing, I didn't post as much back in the early days. I would maybe post a video once every month, once every couple of weeks, take a few months off, because even back then I had no idea what was sitting right in front of me or what it could become. And I kind of kick myself to this day because I opened the account, but it wasn't till almost, a couple years later that I finally realized what I had, and I really started putting out daily videos.
Now, I want to talk about your subscriber count for a second, because that's always an exciting part of this. And, you get to 100, right? Right. Let's go back to those days, right? You get to 100, and then, you get to 1,000, and that's it. That's a tough thing to do. In the very beginning
very tough.
It's very tough, and it's not free in that it takes a lot of work, and you've got to keep your foot on the gas. Were you watching that, and when did it start to ramp? Because today, let's look at you right now let's see here. Hold on. I've got to mute your channel here. I don't want any. Okay, I've got it muted. Good. Right now, as of right now, you're at 1,978,238 subscribers. Holy crap, right? That's
so
pretty
beautiful.
Cool.
Say it again.
Yeah, I know, right? And here, I'll do it Jimmy Church style. You ready?
All right.
1,978,238 subscribers.
Has a nice ring to it.
There you go. It does. But these are easy to get to now. It's easy, right? Tell me about that. When did it start to take off?
Honestly, I don't exactly remember, but I think it was, after the channel had just kind of sat there for a couple of years with maybe a video posted here and there every few months. I think I had not visited the channel for months, and I came back, and one of the last videos I had posted was almost up to the millions in views. And I was just like, holy cow, what is going on? What happened while I was gone? I mean, it was so, I ran in and told my wife, and she ran in, and I said, look, people are actually listening to this video. So then I kind of had that aha moment.
Right.
I thought to myself, wow, I could really do something here. And so I said, well, I got to make a decision, because at that time I was working at some crappy no-name job around town where I lived. Unfortunately, I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. Most people think cornfields and cows when they think Ohio, and I don't blame them. A lot of it's what it is. But Columbus, which is the capital city right in the center, it looks very similar in size to Los Angeles and other large cities. It's a very fast-moving city, and that's where I was born and bred. Unfortunately, once you have a little boy being born, you have to purchase a house. You have to move out from mom and dad, and so we moved south down here towards the borderline between Ohio and West Virginia, where you could basically buy a house for a third of the price you could in Columbus. So, the trade-off was there's no jobs. It's just kind of a small, crappy redneck town. So I had this small, crappy redneck job, and I had to sit down with my wife one night and say, look, I really need to make a decision here. We could really have something here, not just to make money and support our family, but something that I have developed a love for over these years. And hell, if I can do this and I can support us at the same time, that would be a dream. And I think that it was that night that I put in my 2 weeks notice at the dead-end job, I think I had been making $40 per month on YouTube at that time. And I said, even so, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a shot because I love doing this stuff. I'm addicted to posting videos about this stuff. And that was it. We quit the job, and it was all on me to make this YouTube channel work, to support my family, and to build it into whatever it could have been built into. And still at that time, I had no idea.
When we come back after the break, Tyler, I'm going to talk about your studio a little bit, what kind of gear you're using today. I understand you started out with a laptop, and I am sure that is not the case now. And
you may be surprised.
Right? And, also, I have noticed in some of your videos in the past where you have shown little snippets of your studio, and I've seen some of it. But we're going to go through that and talk about some other technical things. And then, of course, we've got to talk about some of your favorite videos. Now your career has just crossed paths with Bob Lazar. And your recent posting, which is pretty incredible, of an area around Papoose Lake. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And there you go. Okay. Our guest tonight,
awesome,
Tyler Glockner, Secureteam. We're going to take a quick break right here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Tyler's studio. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Come join us for the 2019 Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton. This year, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken, and I'll be hosting the panel with Eric, Linda Moulton Howe, Jason Martell, Billy Carson, and David Wilcock. Join George Norrie, Nassim Haramein, Robert Schock, Damian Brinkley, Grant Cameron, Julia Mossbridge, Teresa Yannaris, and another 50 speakers who will be presenting at the 2019 Conscious Life Expo. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for tickets and a full conference schedule, or click on the CLE banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our Influencer Week here on Fade to Black. And tonight it is Tyler Glockner, Secureteam. Tyler, 32 years old, and I don't think there's any question now, Tyler, with your influence and when you have that kind of reach, when you're talking about 1 billion views. 1 billion. I don't want to freak you out, but there's only 7 billion people on this planet, right? So, and you start to look at it like that. That's a pretty amazing accomplishment, and big pat on the back and congratulations on all of that. It's not easy to do, but your influence is without question these days. But one question that I have two. But the first one is, have you had your own sighting?
Yes, actually, I have. You know, a lot of people, it's crazy to this day to hear a lot of people in this research field who haven't had a sighting. And, you know, I would definitely call this a sighting of something. Just real briefly, it was back when I was around 9 or 10 years old. I lived in Hilliard, Ohio, in an apartment complex with my mother. It was about midnight one night during the summer. There's a local swimming pool in the complex. We're leaving the swimming pool. And I get home, and my mother and a friend of hers were kind of laying back on the ground with, you know, one of those big, bulky VHS recorders. That's what we had then to record video back in 93, 94. Mm-hmm. So they're laying on their back, pointing it to the sky, the dark sky. And I'm like, Mom, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, my God, Tyler, stay out of the way. We've got something here. It looks like a flying saucer. That was actually probably the first time as a kid I'd heard about, you know, flying. I said, oh, what's that? And so they finally gave me the camera. I want to see. So put it on my shoulder and I tried to focus on it. And sure enough, and this is, I can only speak to what I saw, but it looked as if we were looking at sort of, the angle was like we were looking up at the bottom of a circular metallic disc that was just sitting up in the sky, So we weren't seeing the side of it. We were just seeing like a circle of it on the bottom that looked to be spinning. Now, granted, these were crappy VHS cameras, but this thing sat there. It didn't have any blinking lights like a plane. I could tell, especially now, that it wasn't a star where we were, the camera was just trying to focus on it, creating that strange effect when you're trying to focus on a star and it kind of makes it look like a disc.
Right.
It wasn't that either. It was something that was shining light or putting light out, and it just slowly began flying away from the camera, almost directly away from the camera, getting smaller and smaller until it was gone. And it was such an amazing thing. We had that VHS tape, and I told a couple of friends about this. I was speaking to Jeremy was one of them, another YouTuber friend of mine, about how I am doing my level best to dig up this VHS tape because I know I have it somewhere in storage, and it would be awesome to be able to share that on the channel, Tyler's very first UFO sighting, because it was certainly something I couldn't explain it, and even now as a grown-up, I still can't explain what it was back in 1993, 1994 that this craft would have been. So certainly by my stretch of the imagination, it was a real legit UFO sighting.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say the same thing that everybody else has already said. Dude, I want to see that tape. Right? So,
I know.
Yeah, we all want to see it. Yeah, you need to dig that up. Now, and my next question, again, which seems a little obvious, but it needs to be asked, when you get to a certain level of visibility, what comes with that is the possibility of a little government interference. Have you experienced any of that? Any strange cars outside of the house? Any problems with your computer equipment? Things like that. Anything going on?
Well, yes, I think anybody who gets in deep into this topic, and especially those who grow an audience, I think will deal in one form or another with strange things that make them believe they may be being watched. And I've had my fair share of strange little things. Speaking of the car you mentioned, I posted a video a year or so back where indeed there had been, sitting right outside our house, we have a parking lot right next to our house, a black-looking SUV sitting at the very last parking spot that was closest to our house, to the side of our house. And this thing sat there for 3 days with a man in it. He had, and I've got video of it, it's on the channel. It looked like kind of a nerdy guy with glasses, had a white dress shirt, a tie, and you could tell he was looking at a screen of some sort because you could see him looking down, look up, and then stare back over at our house. And this went on for days. The car would be there during the day, but he wouldn't be in it. Sometimes he would be in it. And we'd just kind of walk by and we're thinking, well, maybe he's just came in from town and he's waiting for family and he's just stuck there. So on the last night, I think is where we actually got video of it. And I posted the video on the channel where it's my wife and I out on our front porch, finally had, gotten up the muster to go out there and just kind of peek with the camera at him. And sure enough, he's sitting there, dark SUV. You can see him on the camera, peeking over at us, watching what we're doing. My wife has this freaked out look on her face. She'd been freaked out for days over this. I finally decide, okay, look, at the time, before I got in my accident, I had a motorcycle. So I said, look, I'm going to get on my motorcycle and just pretend like I'm driving down the street and I'm going to drive right behind it and just see what this guy is. Does he have a license plate? So I got on my motorcycle, which as well as in the video, I kind of crept past him, looked down, couldn't really see any identifying marks on the license plate. It was a strange license plate. I do remember that, but because it was dark and I had my helmet, I just couldn't tell. But there was just something weird about this. So I kind of pull back in, act like I went to the store. I left my poor wife out on the porch by herself as I'm driving around the block. I come back and it was just so weird. The guy sat there just glaring at us, glaring, to the point where I almost wanted to go grab my pistol and go out and walk up to him and say, what the hell is going on, guy? What are you doing here? But thankfully I didn't. My son was there, so I said, well, let's just go in. And he was gone after that night, he was gone. After we had come out and kind of at least made it known to him, hopefully, that we knew he was there, which I'm sure he did anyway for days, he left, never saw him again. And that was probably one of the strangest things ever. Another thing we've had, and this has happened to both my wife and me for about the 10 years we've lived at our new location where we've been, a big one is camera flashes. There have been a number of instances where, and it's always at night for some reason, where I will be going outside to take out the trash or something. Out of the corner of my eye, as I'm turning to walk away, or right as a car is flying by, I will see a bright flash of light, almost as if someone is snapping a picture as they're driving by. And we have seen this flash. Most of the time it's occurred, it's been when we've been inside the house, but we do have a front window. We can see right out to the street, and it'll either have been my wife or me who will say, "Did you just see that?" And we'll see out the window, just flash, flash. I mean, it was obviously a camera flash, and we'd see this car speeding down the street. So that's something strange. That has happened maybe 3 or 4 times in the last few years. So that was strange. As far as anything else that I could say was concrete proof that the government is watching me, yeah, I get your typical emails with threats saying to stop what you're doing. Of course, you can't track them. You don't know where they're coming from. Could be some kid on there just trying to mess with me. But you do get those emails from time to time. You get a ton of troll and hate emails, so they kind of all mix together, and eventually you start ignoring them. I'm locked in secure at my home. I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm very protected. And, I don't like to think of myself, nor do I think of myself as, if the government had a list of the most dangerous people that could expose this topic, I highly doubt I would be anywhere towards the top of that list or even on it. But I do think that even though I'm a YouTuber, I think just the fact that some guy from Ohio has gained 2 million followers and has created this following and is talking about a lot of things that they would rather me not talk about, I think that is enough in and of itself, no matter how dangerous I am or not, for them to take notice, or for them to watch, do surveillance. And so I wouldn't put it past them to have done surveillance or to be at least monitoring what I'm doing.
Do you think that you may be in a position also to receive footage that may be disinformation from the government, and you may be unknowingly distributing stuff that they want others to see?
Sure, of course. I think that is a given when you are doing any type of critical research into this topic. I think that there is, I think it's proven, in my opinion, that there is an ongoing disinformation campaign or cover-up or whatever you want to call it. They do not want this information out. It's been revealed since the 1940s in documents and whistleblowers. So there's things about this they don't want out. No, they know that a lot of it has gotten out, specifically because of said whistleblowers and documents and Freedom of Information Act requests. But I think there's a lot of stuff, super secret stuff, that we couldn't even fathom, because I know a lot of us, we like to think we know it all. But I think there's stuff out there we don't know, and they are highly invested in keeping that stuff secret. And, with people like Richard Doty, I'm sure there's a million more just like him out there in this field. I've been accused of it myself, being a shill for the CIA, or that I've been compromised. It seems anytime I post a video of something where some viewers now, slightly disagree with, all of a sudden I'm a CIA shill. So it could be me. It could be you, Jimmy. It could be grandma next door. We just don't know. But I think I've developed a pretty good eagle eye. I post things without I try to stay neutral and ask the audience, what do you think? That way we can keep it neutral. If it does turn out to be fake or disinformation, then we can at least say, hey, we watched it. It does look real. We can maybe form an opinion. But I don't think there is so much fake or disinfo footage coming in that it that it overshadows the legit footage. We'll just say, I think there's much more legit footage, legit eyewitness testimony, and things coming out to where, yeah, throw us the disinfo. We can handle it. We can take it. But you're not going to stop this massive flow of information that comes in each day that I can't even keep up with. And I highly doubt if there were 20 more of me, they could keep up with it. No one's going to stop this train.
And there's the flip side where there may be videos that are real that is part of the, that they want to get out too as well. I mean, there's that aspect of it. It's a very, very strange thing to wade through because you don't necessarily have personal contact with whoever is sending you these videos.
That's very true. You have to, over the years, and, in the beginning, I sucked. I didn't know anything. I had no eye for fakes, what was fake or what was not. I think I posted a lot of fakes not knowing. I think I talked to a lot of people who were just pulling my leg. But like me, if you're just getting into it, you just don't know what's what at that. But after a while, you develop an eagle eye, and I think every human being develops this sort of sixth sense, especially about this topic, where you can feel people out. There's always a chance they're going to be trying to pull one over. But I think I've done a pretty good job of siphoning through that. I'm not saying some doesn't get through, and if it does, then that's the game. But I do think I do a hell of a better job than a lot of people are that are on YouTube or that are in this topic, and we just go with it. You know what I mean? We go with it. You got to take the good with the bad. But as I was saying, and to your point, how some of this stuff that is real footage about how we don't know if that's disinfo for some reason, and that automatically made me think of Tom DeLonge, To the Stars, and the release of these Pentagon videos of the Go Fast, the Nimitz encounter, where we suddenly have these 3 or 4 different videos showing fighter jets chasing these things. You have Luis Elizondo coming out saying that he ran this UFO hunting program, and it all came out just so clean and clear and quick and beautifully, and the videos came out, and it took me back. It made me have to sit back and think, why would the government even allow this footage to get out, even though it's more blurry and we can't really make out what these jets are chasing? I understand maybe that's why but why let it out at all? Why let Luis Elizondo talk at all? Why let a former rock star who used to make songs about having sex with his dog suddenly have access to all of this information and suddenly become the spokesperson for everything UFOs and aliens? So, my viewers joke with me that I have some sort of tiff with Tom DeLonge, or maybe it's jealousy or this or that, but it's really not. It was just really strange to me. And I think that it was strange to Joe Rogan as well when Tom went on to Joe Rogan's podcast. And in my opinion, he did not do a very good job of explaining or proving to Joe, what he's about. I think he had a lot of trouble explaining, and that made me worry that they are using Tom to push out disinformation. That's just my opinion, but it's very strange to me that they let this obscure rock band singer in and put him in the know and get all this stuff released. It strikes me of the Richard Doty situation where they pulled it on that other poor guy and told him, and fed him all of those false radio recordings. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they ended up driving the guy insane, thinking that he was picking up legit UFO activity when really it was just the government feeding it to him every step of the way.
Yeah, Paul Benowitz.
That's him. Poor, nothing but respect for him, and it's a shame what they did to that man. And
that's right.
It obviously, I think you have to, especially in Tom's case. Could this be a flashback to that? I don't know. I don't know why they would let it be released or let a former Pentagon intel officer come out and say things like this when we know they are working overtime to cover it up. So it is all very strange and beguiling to me. And I don't have all the answers. I could be dead wrong.
Well, keep those glasses on that you're wearing right now. I mean, and always continue to do your own thing. And that's just a little piece of advice. We'll talk more about that off the air. But you're absolutely right. You know, what you're saying right now is wise beyond your years. And you've obviously learned a lot in the last 10 with Secureteam. But have you ever, Tyler, you sort of mentioned this. I understand early on and making mistakes, but have you ever posted a video where you just went, "Oh man, that was a mistake," and you regretted it?
Of course, I think every YouTuber has, not just in this topic. Look, I think, in this internet world, I think it's very easy to point out the mistakes of people. That's the problem that we have today in this politically correct internet world, where not only are we all crybabies now, and you can't say the truth to people's faces without the fear of repercussions or losing your job, but I also think it's very easy to jump on the bandwagon and attack people for any little thing and attempt to ruin their lives. Mm-hmm. Now, certainly, I have posted videos that I wish I hadn't, and most of this was early on. Some of it's been recent, where I maybe got something wrong and I found out afterwards, maybe because I was trying to get the video up quick and be the first. That is a part of this game. You want to get it up first. You don't want to look like you're trailing someone else.
That's right. Let me jump in, Tyler. I made my mistakes too, and posted videos and jumped the gun, and where I immediately just recently, well, I'm not going to get into the details, but I immediately, as soon as I found out, and I got contacted from NASA directly. And I just posted, I was like, you know what? That was a mistake. This is this. And sorry. And of course, the response back is, oh, now Jimmy's part of disinfo. Now he's flipping
you can't win.
No, you can't, so I totally understand that, Tyler. But then there's the other part, right? Where some of your stuff is so good, the immediate response is always, and you can't help it, that it's CGI, that Tyler, has added stuff here.
I think that may have been the case 3 or 4 years ago, especially when I first started the channel, because back then the UFO topic and UFO channels in general, very scarce, and it was new to everyone. It was new to me. So when you would see a lot of these CGI videos, many of them looked very real. A lot of us did fall for it easily. I fell for it. I ended up posting, I'm sure, many. But again, with time and with technology, you start to develop an eagle eye, and that's what happened with me. I started being able, like I am now, to within milliseconds spotting a piece of CGI footage, almost to the point where no one even tries to test me anymore or send them to me, because I will catch it, because part of knowing about hoaxes is studying how they're made. So of course, in order to improve my channel and not just research things, UFOs and aliens, I had to research, well, what are people doing to pull disinfo into this topic? Well, they're using this program or that software. Okay, and what are they doing, and what exactly do they do that makes it look so real? And what can I look at that would tell me instantly, this isn't real, this has been mocked up? Right. And I think that I have learned that over the years. Now, granted, I made mistakes. Everyone does. And if you think you can do better, pick up a mic, post a video a day, and let's get going.
Right.
But if not, then give your old buddy a break, because look, you're going to make mistakes. I still make them to this day. There's some videos where I say, man, I wish I had not have posted. I look like an idiot. And, my viewers, I love them. They are some of the smartest people I have ever met. And as much as they love me and love the channel, they will be the first to call me out on my, ish. And I love them for that, because if I mess up or make a mistake, they call me on it. And honestly, I appreciate the constructive criticism. I don't like the hate where they just say, hey, you suck, your channels suck, and it's a bunch of lies, you're a hoaxer, you're a disinfo agent. That stuff, you're getting hit with the ban hammer real quick, because I don't play with that stuff. But if you have criticism, of course I listen, because of course I don't want to look like an idiot, and I want my fans to have a good time and for me to get my stuff right.
Yeah, that's look, when it comes to the trolling and the hate, all they are looking for, Tyler, and this is, it sounds a little fundamental, but they want you to reply. They want you to respond, and then it's off to the races. That's very
true.
That's all it is.
That's very true, Jimmy. That's very true, because as you'll probably know, and you're probably about to say, the 9 times out of 10 times that I do reply, the first thing they tell me is what big fans they are. And how they were just trying to get my attention. I don't really hate your guts and wish you were dead. I was just trying to get your attention. I'm so happy to be talking with you. I'm a huge fan. And it's just crazy, that's what people are doing now to get attention, to where you don't even know if it's real constructive criticism. I've got some guy or girl here making me think I'm a terrible person, when really they just want to meet me and talk to me, and everything they're saying is just to get that door open. It's crazy.
How many people are in Secureteam?
Just one is running Secureteam, but I would say that we're all a part of it, because most of my videos are compiled from what people send me, from what they talk to me about on Twitter and Facebook, videos they send in. I have friends and other YouTubers who help me out, but as far as just running the channel, recording it, editing it, doing all that, it's just me.
Wow. That's a lot of work. And do you have a set schedule? We've got about 1 minute where are you trying to just stay at like one video a day, right? Is that your goal?
Yeah. Originally, I went crazy, and I would make 20+ minute long videos every day. There would be a new one every single day, 20+ minutes long. That takes forever to edit a 20-minute long video, let alone a 10-minute long video. And eventually I got burned out. I got depressed, a lot of sleepless nights. I still don't sleep. So now, after I've grown a little bit and I've been able to relax a little bit more and grow into it, now I try to post a video, maybe once every couple days. Sometimes there is one a day, sometimes 2, but normally one every couple of days. And if there's some breaking news, then I'll try to fit it in. But I definitely try to pace myself.
One-man operation, though.
One-man operation. Obviously, with the help of my wife backing me up. She's the woman behind the man that keeps the man going.
There you go. Let's take a break right here. We didn't even get a chance to talk about your studio. We will do that when we get back. And I want to know all of those technical things, too, as well. And let's get through all of that. Our guest tonight, Tyler Glockner, night 3 of our Influencer Week here on Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. And last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numanna banner on jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Teppy. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new paranormal radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the paranormal radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, night 3 of our Influencer Week here on Fade to Black, Tyler Glockner of Secureteam is with us. Great conversation so far and an amazing week. And when you influence in this community and you have the ability to communicate out, what ends up happening is that either people resonate with you or they don't. Tyler Glockner has certainly represented the ability to resonate. His subscriber count is about to close in on 2 million. And I want to discuss your studio. I'm picturing, Tyler, like 3 curved 30-inch monitors, 3 Alienware Area 51 computers, and about 100 terabytes of RAM. What are you running?
Well, I started the channel out on, a cheap little laptop out in my living room. I used to like to sit out there by the big screen and just kind of work. And I had this crappy little USB mic. Well, obviously, over the years, we've upgraded, thankfully, a few times, actually. So I still actually do most of my work and my recordings out sitting on my couch in the living room on my laptop. And the laptop that I've most used and is my favorite is something called a Predator X17. It's an Acer Predator X 17-inch laptop. I mean, it blows Alienware out of the water. I don't even really know many people who use Alienware because you have Asus and Acer, but I've got the Predator as the laptop. I also have an office, which I'm in now, which I like to use more for interviews or more serious work if I need some quiet. So I've got my desk here. I've got a monitor. For my microphones, I use the Electro Voice RE20.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good mic going back years. Wonderful mic. And I'm running a desktop in the office here that was custom built for me online. I can't think of the name right now, but they're like on Amazon, and they custom build everything for you. So yeah, they're all, suffice to say, very powerful. A lot of RAM, so they can handle the video editing. And I've got the Secureteam mouse pad here. And if you look at the picture that you used for promoting this, you can see the Secureteam flag hanging on the wall behind me. So yeah, it's kind of like my little Secureteam office. It's pretty cool.
And that's it.
That's it, yeah. Plus, well, I've got a ton of fan mail as well that I keep in my office here from people sending it to my P.O. box. So I've got paintings of me where it's half my face and the other half of my face is an alien or a reptilian. I've got some beautiful paintings, cups people have sent in, Secureteam buttons, fidget spinners, like every kind of cool thing you can think of. So yeah, a ton of Secureteam knickknacks. But yeah, just on my desk here, I have some pictures of my family and little stuffed alien. I'm not trying to go too overboard alien to the point where it's, kind of cliche but yeah, it's a nice little nook for me to work if I need some peace and quiet.
Now, next time you're in LA, I'll bring you by the bunker. And you've got to check it out down here, man. It's pretty cool.
It looks cool.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, we've upgraded so many times over the years, but I'm getting pretty settled in now. I mean, there isn't anything I can improve anymore, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just takes time to finally feel out that perfect equipment that you feel you can use forever. And I think I'm getting to that point as well.
That's where I'm at now. Okay, now we've. Oh man, looking at the clock, I don't know where the time is gone. Let's talk about some of your videos, and I want to jump straight to your Papoose Lake video. It's probably your latest. Mm-hmm. And now we have, and when I say we, I'm talking about the UFO community going back to 1990. So many have gone out there trying to get to the bottom of all of this, and one of those was the hangar doors. There's been a lot of research into this area, and your recent video, I'm gonna say I'm very, very, very impressed with it. Now, if I have a drawback to the video, it's not necessarily at Papoose Lake, but we're going to discuss this in a second. But the other part about Papoose Lake, when we look at the satellite images, the way that Bob has always described it, there are no roads there. There isn't anything. There isn't anything on the mountain. There isn't any security gate. There's nothing, and we've looked for this over and over again. Now, what you have found isn't necessarily, like I said, next to Papoose Lake, but you've got everything else that Bob has talked about. One, you've got the hangar doors, but two, you've got the roads and you've got the access to get there. So take us through this video. How did you find it? It's pretty incredible. Yeah. And now, also, is there any imagery of those doors closed?
No, not that I've seen as of yet. So I got an email from a viewer, and this is a lot of the times this is how it happens. I also forgot to mention, I also have researchers working for me. So I kind of lied earlier when I said a Secureteam, just one person. I mean, technically, yes, it's just me. But in the past year, two good friends of mine on YouTube who would always kind of send me scoops on things because, I'm just so busy, and being a dad and a husband, I'm not always first anymore like I was back in the day where I was just on my computer 24/7, and I'd usually get there before anyone else.
Right.
So I have a few friends that I've hired to help me out, and I've said, look, just send me an email summary once a day of any footage you find, any stories you think would be good to talk about. Help me out, because that's a big thing the viewers have been asking is how I need to get help, because I do try to run it all myself, and that slows me down. Call me just protective and wanting to do it all myself because that's what I'm used to, but that's just the way it is. So I've got help. So a viewer sent me in some coordinates, and they said, you might want to check out this area near Papoose. There may be what appears to be some hangar doors. So I said, okay, sure. Typical email like many before it. Went over there, noticed this part, which again, it's not in Papoose. It's over the Papoose Mountains there. But it's in the general area. We'll just say it's not too far from Papoose. It's kind of in that general Nevada desert testing range area where there could be many more secret sites that we don't even know about. So when I saw that, and I did see those hangar doors, which again, they may not even be hangar doors, but when you look at the artist's rendition of what Bob said he saw, they look damn near similar to me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I said in the video. They look similar. Obviously with these, you have roads, you have people, you have some buildings, gates, some semi trucks there, trucking something in and out. So what we could have had here is possibly a construction of something similar to what Bob was talking about. I highly doubt this is the place where they're storing the flying saucers. But that's not to say that they're not creating more of these things, because at this point, we don't know how many more of these hangars are out there in the mountainsides, camouflaged. They could be building them. A big question in that video a viewer posted was, well, Tyler, do you really think that Google would allow this imagery in their Google Earth? Honestly, if this was anything like you're saying, any kind of secret base for storing flying saucers, do you really think they're going to let a guy on YouTube find it and then post about it? And I responded very simply with, well, not necessarily, because there are many, many strange things that you can find on Google Earth and in sat imagery. It doesn't have to just come from Google. Many strange things. And I think where the distinction is drawn from the people who want to cover this stuff up is it's how much you can see it. It's the resolution. It's really more of how much you can make out of what you're looking at versus them just erasing it, airbrushing it out, and then making it an even bigger mystery and making people want to look at it even more, because once you cover it up, then people are going to know something was there. So in a lot of this imagery, just like this here with these hangars, there's detail, but there's not enough to where we could validate Bob's story. There's not enough where we could really do anything to figure out what's happening there. And I think along those standards, a lot of the times these satellite companies will leave this stuff in there because we know, or they know that we know, we're not going to be able to find up that much more information from what's just sitting right in front of us. And I think that's true with not only satellite images here, but all of the anomalous structures found on the moon and Mars. Why did they leave many of them in? Well, because there's not enough detail for you to say one way or another that they're alien, and it would only do more damage for them to take them out.
Yeah, when I look at the images, and especially when you can see the entire mountain behind what are obviously entrances into this mountain, that part of it is very clear. But is what's going on the inside and how big of a superstructure is underneath this mountain?
Exactly.
The doors are big. When you look at, you can see the trucks, right? And there's a little construction hut kind of thing over on the left-hand side with it's kind of blue. You look at the size of that, and you look at the cars. These are huge. I mean, huge. I mean, that's probably, if I'm going to guess, I'm going to say 60 feet tall, maybe, 50, 60 feet wide.
Yeah. And the funny thing is after I posted that video, another viewer had emailed me, or maybe he had posted it down in the comments and said, look, when I went onto Google Earth and I tried to put it down to street view, it gave us this big shot of this high security checkpoint gate right at this area where this construction work is being done. He said it looked very fortified, very secure type gate. And there's a picture of it online. I'll try to find it. But, so whatever they're doing here, someone said, well, this may be a typical mining operation. They're probably just mining something out of there, and it's totally mundane. And I said, well, of course, that could very well be it. It could be a mining operation. But then again, because it's so close to Area 51 and Papoose, and because they look so similar to what Bob described, how easy would it be to create a front for a mining operation just to keep people from wanting to look deeper? And so guys like that could go on my channel and say, hey, I heard it's a mining operation, case closed. So, they play tricks too to cover this stuff up. So just because someone says, well, they told me it was mining, they've been doing that for years to cover this stuff up. So that doesn't deter me one bit, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it.
Now, what about the same questions can be raised about Antarctica as well? Have you seen, in that, you look at Google Earth of Antarctica, and large swaths are blotted out. It's the same thing going on down there. Right. Have you seen anything interesting down there that you've raised an eyebrow and went, okay, there's something here?
Of course. Videos having to do with Antarctica are growing on my channel. Lately, in the past couple of years, it's one of the main video topics I love to post on because although the moon is probably my first love as far as strange things, Antarctica would be a close second simply because of its mysterious history. So many things have happened surrounding this block of ice at the bottom of our planet. Things happening underground, whispers of secret bases. Well, we know they've had public bases there, but we also have known that they have some underground bases. Some of those bases were recently brought to light after some of the Army or military personnel had accidentally left their Fitbits on their wrist. And so unbeknownst to them, they're jogging around these secretive complexes and broadcasting the exact location right back onto the internet. And it was all because of, one of these little Fitbit watches that people are wearing these days so they can track how many miles they've run. So, that was kind of a big uh-oh that showed us that, yes, there are installations down there that just a teeny little workout watch, was able to uncover. Now, we also have strange holes or openings out of certain areas of mountains when there's nothing else nearby for hundreds of miles. Some of these holes, I'm sure you've seen, look or are carved out in the shape of a flying saucer, to where it looks like only a flying saucer-shaped vehicle would be able to fly in and out. And these holes are also typically very high up on the mountain. So there's no roads to get there. So something would have to be able to fly in and fly out, and with the shape of the hole that it's carved in. We found other things in Antarctica. Strange anomalous structures sticking out. Things that look like, there's been photographs of saucers flying by that have been caught. Things that look like pyramids sticking up out of the ice. Of course, you go back to World War II, where it was long held that the Nazis had created or had been creating a secretive base under Antarctica where they would live out the rest of their lives and create some sort of Nazi utopia. Some people lump that in with the Hollow Earth theory, and that the Nazis somehow found the entrance to the Earth at the center of Antarctica. And so there are so many stories around it. You have each year so many heads of state are flying to Antarctica. So many heads of religious organizations suddenly flying out there. And it almost begs the question, what is it about flying out to a frigid, cold ice pickle? I'm calling it ice pickle. Icicle. See, I can't talk here. Icicle. What's the point? Why such interest for Putin to come out, to John Kerry to fly out, to anyone and everyone. And I
Buzz
definitely
Aldrin.
think that there's something going on down there.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin recently there. And,
Buzz Aldrin, yes.
And you have you've done an awful lot of stuff with the moon. You say, you had said earlier that the moon is your favorite thing to look at. We're all fascinated with that. You sent me a moon video. It's called "Proof That Aliens Were on the Moon." It was posted 12/28 back in 2016. And there's a couple of spots in this video where I just step back and I go, okay, that's pretty crazy. Tell us about this video and which part of it for you is the proof.
Well, and I want your listeners to know, if you're just getting into this, the moon is where you want to start, because it will rip you down into the rabbit hole, and you won't eat, you won't sleep, you won't drink, you will be doing nothing but analyzing moon film footage and photographs for the next few months, just like I did when I got into it. But, I think it starts with a very simple question, which is that, well, first of all, the moon itself is an enigma. We're not really sure. Of course, there's theories, but we're not really sure how the moon got here to begin with. There are no other moons in our solar system like ours. There are no other planets in the solar system that have a single moon like this, of this size. There are strange dimensions with our moon, where the moon is just the right size and the sun is at just the right distance, to where you look at them side by side and they're both the same shape. They're both the same diameter. It's really strange. We have one side of the moon that's pummeled with craters. The other side is much more smooth, almost if the moon had been tugged here from somewhere else. That is a well-known theory out there. So then you have the moon itself. People wondering whether it's hollow. Well, I was one of the first proponents of it being hollow. Back in the 60s, during the moon missions, they slammed one of their lunar modules down into the surface, and the moon rang like a bell for hours and for days afterwards. It could be felt thousands of miles away, ringing like a hollow bell. Well, they went back and they did it again, and it happened even more. The bell rang even harder, longer, faster, and it really kind of flipped on its head the preconceived notions and theories about our moon that we had always held so dear, which is that the moon is thick, it's just a rocky, dead planet. So we now know that there are hollow compartments within it. Now, if you want to talk about what's on the surface, and was what was featured for a little bit in this video, and there's so much more than what I could feature, but basically, I went over some of the photographs taken from the various Apollo moon missions, photos on the way to the moon, photos down on the surface, all of which I've shown depict strange things. Seem to be silently hovering back in the distance. Craft, if you want to call them that, visitors of all shapes and sizes, bright blue objects, I should say, towers sticking up high out of the moon.
It's really an incredible.
So many.
Yeah,
and that's not even all of it. It's just when you try to think of it all, domes, a lot of domes, pipes. We've seen things that look like pipes coming in and out. We've even had recordings taken from the 16-millimeter DAC footage when they were on the moon. I'm not sure exactly which Apollo mission it was, but at one point, one of the astronauts says to the other, "I think we've had visitors again." And the other astronaut says, "Agree." And then they just go back to doing their EVA and what they were doing. And that video clip is out there. So I think it's clear, and I'm pretty sure we've had astronauts come out and say that, yes, indeed, there was some sort of visitation up there. There were things watching us, buzzing over our heads from the moment we got there to the moment we left. And as far as these anomalous structures on the moon, all one needs to do is look at some of these higher res images, and you will start finding things immediately. Things that look like satellite dishes, things that look like tracks, And in video as well. Things flying by in video, things outside the windows of the lunar modules where you have the astronauts playing around inside, and then you see these white glowing objects outside the window that almost seem to be tugging along before changing directions and flying away.
Mm-hmm.
So the moon it's certainly an enigma. Everything about it, where it comes from, everything. It's almost, if you could think of it as if there were to be a perfect outpost for aliens to be able to watch and monitor our planet in plain sight, the moon would be a perfect candidate. And I think the evidence supports that.
Yeah, there's in a couple of the images in this video that, for me, we've seen these images before, but we don't really look at the background. We're not enlarging this where these little spots, on the horizon, on the off of the lunar surface, you're not concerned about it because you're looking in the foreground. You're looking at what's there. You in these high-res images, you're looking at these things in the background, which are pretty bleeping strange. I mean, I can't explain what we're looking at here. Unless
Are you talking about the still images where the contrast has been brought up so you can see what's in the blackness,
yes.
in the dark ground, the towers, these massive towering structures were brought out by a good friend of mine, Luna Cognita, who was a master at this, and he would take these photos where supposedly we're supposed to only see nothing but clear black space behind you, especially when you're on the moon. But in many cases, when you increase the gamma and the contrast and you the brightness a little bit, in many instances, you will see popping up what I can only describe as massive tower-like structures and other things like it, just eerily sitting way in the distance. Some of them look to have wires attached to them. Sometimes they're towers, sometimes they're just things sitting in the sky, but I certainly think that there must have had to have been some post-editing that went on with these photos before they finally sold them to the public, because I think they know that there were some structures there, some monoliths, some towers, and you can look at other photos from the moon and Mars where you can plainly see these monoliths sticking up out of the ground, specifically on Mars and Phobos. And so whatever this is with the towers, it seems to stretch throughout the solar system and is found on many different bodies.
Let's take a break right here, Tyler. And when we come back, we're going to go through Tyler's favorite, most interesting videos that he has posted. How many of you, what's your number up to now? How many videos have you posted?
We're nearly 1,000. I originally had 1,000 at one point, but I think after, there was one point in time where I kind of wanted to clean up the channel a little bit. And as we were talking about earlier, making mistakes in the early days and maybe finding videos where you had been tricked into posting something that, looking at now, it was obviously CGI and someone trying to get over on you. So I think after deleting those types of videos that just, there was no point to them, especially if they were fake, it brought it down to just below 1,000. So we're almost back up to 1,000 again. And I think with all the other things I've done, videos I've posted elsewhere, I think it's well over 1,000.
Well, we're going to go through, I've got Tyler's top 10, and we're all interested in that. So we're going to do that when we come back. Our guest tonight, Tyler Glockner, Secureteam. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your Jimmy Church. Tonight, Tyler Glockner of Secureteam is with us. His first interview ever. Yeah, pretty cool. Tyler, how you doing? You relaxed now? See, it was smooth, right?
I'm rocking and rolling. I'm feeling great. Thanks.
All right. So we're going down your top 10. And the first, I don't know if this is in any particular order, but the first one that you sent me, and I want to, we just talked about the moon video. But this one had to stick out for you because this was at the top of your list. And it's a black triangle that takes off from somebody's back porch.
Yeah.
Take us through this.
This is one of the most epic videos that I've ever had the pleasure of and luck of the person finding me, sending it in, and saying, look, I don't care for fame. I don't care what you do with it. Just look at it and tell me I'm not crazy. So he sent me in this video a couple years ago, and it was basically an all-black video. He said, I went out about 12 in the morning on my back porch, smoke a cigarette, and the whole time I was smoking, I'm looking out over this vast field and forest, and I just couldn't help but feel that I wasn't alone. It felt, call it a sixth sense, whatever you want to call it. He felt he wasn't alone. There was something there in the sky, although he couldn't see it, but he just felt it was there. Didn't make a sound. So he finishes his cigarette, stops the recording because he'd kind of just been sitting there with his cell phone recording this dark sky off his porch. And one way or another, it finally got into my hands. So I took it. I increased the contrast and the brightness just to see what we could bring out, if anything, in the night sky, to see if this guy was just crazy or was just hearing stuff. And it was one of those pieces of footage that truly blow you away, because what I saw, and what you guys will see if you watch this video, is that not only was this man correct, I don't think he knew exactly how correct he was, because in the sky, with this brightness enhanced, we see a very large triangular object. It almost looks see-through. It's really strange. It almost looks like it's made of liquid. But big triangular ship that's just sitting sideways in the sky, and then suddenly and slowly starts turning on its side and sort of drifting back and away and off to the right behind some trees. And as it does that, at one point, you can see a single light flash on each corner of the triangle, but the lights aren't actually attached to the corners of the craft. It's like the lights are 20, 30, 40, 50 feet away from each corner. Maybe they're floating with it. I don't know. But it's just boom, boom, boom. You see these 3 flashes of light around the corners. The object disappears behind the trees, and that was it. But that was enough. I mean, it to this day is one of the most mind-blowing pieces of footage. Totally legit footage. I mean, it's totally crappy. I mean, you can almost not make the thing out. But what you can make out, you can see. You can see this thing moving, and it just blew me away.
Yeah, when you first look at the footage, I mean, you see that it looks just like a bright star in the sky. Mm-hmm. And then when you zoom in, you can see the 2 corners and the 2 faint lights then appear, and you can see the way that the movement is going on, that these are all they're together, I guess.
Yeah, you can see the vague outline of the triangles, of the lines around the triangle faintly, almost like it was cloaked or something to blend in with the sky. So you were kind of seeing the sky through it, but you were still getting that effect of it being cloaked. And yeah, my first thought was, is this yet another one of these silent triangles? The TR3B, the Black Manta, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But these things have been seen all over the world. They're still being seen to this day. A recent video of mine, I posted some more footage of potentially these. Now, they're not always those. Sometimes they're kites, sometimes they're drones. But in cases like this, especially the more massive they are and the more silent, you can't just push that away and say it was a drone. There's certain limitations to drones and kites. And we have had our fair share of footage and photographs of these black triangles going back to the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible footage, actually. And when you increase whatever you're increasing and the shape of it shows up, it's just like, what is going on there? And it does. Right. It tips on its side. It's got definite structure to it, and also it's the inside of it. It's how do I say this? It's a triangle with a triangle on the inside, right? So it's got a superstructure on the outside. That's a pretty incredible video. And you would have never, if you hadn't have taken it a step further, you would have never seen any of this here because it's just 3 lights in the sky.
Right. And another thing is that these days, normally when you find a hoax, or if you are sitting down and you are going to say, I'm going to try to trick Tyler and post him a hoax, normally from what I've seen is that when you're dealing with low light, they don't like that. So normally it'll be daytime shots where they can clearly what's the word? Motion track. They can clearly motion track things, make it look like it's actually moving and blending in. They'll add some camera shake to it. But when it comes to nighttime shots, things are blurry. Things look different when you raise contrast, when you raise brightness, when you're messing with gamma. That too can cause hoaxes to be exposed even more because they aren't thinking that you're going to be messing with it that hard. And when you have pieces of footage like this, which thankfully they were a few years before the more crazy CGI stuff, the fact that it was at night, the fact that it probably would have taken someone a week to make, and then just to end up with a real crappy picture like that. I mean, it's ringing all the bells that it's legit, if you know what I mean, versus the stuff that's just a clear, bright, beautiful day and you see a flying saucer fly by and you can even see the aliens flying it. That's the type of fake stuff that's easily debunkable, and that's why I don't post that stuff on the channel.
There is a couple of these aren't opening, but I am going to jump to the SUV outside of my home. Okay, that's what it's actually called. It's called MIB, or outside watching my home.
And that's what we discussed earlier.
What we discussed earlier. I just want to look at this for myself. I didn't get a chance to do it before the show. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, homeboy is definitely sitting outside of your house.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is that later on, there's just a couple of really bored, I guess they would call themselves debunkers out there who have made it their life's mission. I call it unhealthy obsession, to follow me around and attempt to nitpick or take videos out of context and try to ruin my life over it. And they tried to do it with this video as well, and it totally backfired back into their faces. And they said, well, this is just another hoax by Tyler. You can clearly tell that car that is parked there is the same car that Tyler owns. And they're referencing a photograph that they had found on my Facebook post after I had recently purchased a new Jeep. I had never had a Jeep before, and I was like, you know what, I'd like a Jeep SUV. So I bought a dark gunmetal gray 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And they said, well, look, here's Tyler next to his Jeep, and now look at what's parked in his driveway. When it takes 2 seconds to realize that car that was parked out there for days scaring my wife to death is a Chevy.
Yes.
First of all, looks nothing like my Jeep when you put them side by side. This was a light gray Jeep. It was a Chevy. It was a few years older than my car. So you see, they're very quick to jump on it and make it. First of all, I wouldn't involve my family in anything. I would never do anything to try to scare my family. I certainly don't have friends that are driving by flashing pictures or that would come out and sit. Let's just put it this way. I don't have friends, period. I'm too busy running this channel. And I just kind of live by the wording screw friends, because they always end up backstabbing you. My friends are my family, and so I'm a very busy man. So that definitely was a legit happening. It was scary. It was creepy. Haven't seen him back. Haven't lately seen anyone flashing pictures through my window lately, but I definitely think because of how large we've gotten that they think this kid from Ohio could definitely get some information at some point and post it, not knowing the repercussions of what he would be doing by posting that. And I think that's the way they go about these things.
It's funny. One of your videos here goes to my channel. I can't get it to load. It keeps going back to my channel.
Oh, no. Which video was it?
The stand down. And I really wanted to see this, but okay, let's move on. We're quickly running out of time. Huge, miles-long object seen on the ocean floor.
Yes, that's probably one of my most popular videos views-wise. I'm pretty sure.
4.5 million views.
For whatever reason.
Yes. Yes.
That's a crazy one.
Yes. And so what are we seeing here?
Well, we were looking at the ocean floor, that was mapped out once again by satellites as well as ships, mapped it all out. And if you followed my channel, you'll know that I'm just as addicted to investigating what's happening down in our oceans as I am in space. I've always said that we have an alien world right here on our own planet. Forget about space. Our oceans are an alien planet. We have only investigated 10% of our oceans. That's it. 10% we've actually sent people down to map or investigate. That leaves the other 90% untouched by humankind. We don't know what's down there, how far down it goes, what could be down there. And so in this particular video, we were going over some of these satellite images, looking at the terrain, and we discovered this massive 2-mile, I believe it was 2 miles long disc, big round disc sitting at the bottom of the ocean with this 45 mile long trail behind it, curving back and forth as if this giant disc had made its move across the ocean floor on a 45 mile trip, curving around back and forth before it finally came to a stop. And that's exactly what it looks like. A massive 2 mile wide object moving across the ocean bottom.
Yeah, it's 4.5 kilometers across, and it is absolutely snaking across the ocean floor. And you can see the trail behind it, and it's just parked there. It just stopped.
Right. And it's a trail. Now, people talk about glitching and this and that. And yes, glitching and stitching effects do occur in Google Earth and Google Ocean when they're stitching these different images together. But those typically, they're very easy to spot. They usually consist of, a piece of patchwork that loops over on itself, and you can just tell that it's a piece of stitching. It's a glitch. This here is an object. You can see the imperfections. You can see the light and shadow on it. You can see the path that it carved for 45 miles, the different depths that this path carved down into the dirt, the shadows within it. It's all three-dimensional. It is not a glitch. This is a massive object that maybe by itself I would have said, well, maybe it's an old volcano or something. But when we have this path leading to it, making it seem like it's moved almost 50 miles, that raised my eyebrow. And I have yet to find anyone who could give me a clear answer as to what this was.
You've also got my Malibu underwater base in here.
Yes, that's another one. Well, very famous.
Yeah. When I broke that story, which was it's probably 5 years ago now, you're absolutely right. I started investigating areas around the world. I looked at every spot, every inch of coastline on every continent with Google Earth. I spent weeks looking for another anomaly that was similar to what we had found at the Malibu underwater base. But what was interesting with that, because I did interviews with mass media and the interest, because it's right off of the coast of California. It's right here, Malibu. I went out there with a boat and dropped submersibles and all kinds of things. But the interest in it was tremendous. People want to know. There is stuff going on. There's another anomaly that I found off of in the Bay of Baja of California, down off of Mexico. And for the life of me, it looks like an airport. but it's 100 miles long. It's quite large. I'll send you those images. They're really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go to let's see what's up next. I'm looking at the clock here too as well. Let's see. Let's go to what did I skip it? Hold on for a second here. What happened to 8, 9? Oh, there they are. Okay. Pilot silenced after releasing UFO footage.
That is one I was hoping we would talk about, because if you want to talk proof that this ongoing cover-up is extremely real, then that frightened me. And to this day, and I had a recent update to it that once again left me with more questions than answers. So that story will make you a believer.
What happened? How'd you get the footage?
Okay, so this was about the time I would say I had maybe 500K subscribers. I was building an audience. People were starting to know about me. I received a very nice email. It was actually two different emails. One email was from the man himself, who worked at this corporate jet fleet in Texas, I believe. So he worked on these corporate jets, taking, I'm guessing, millionaires around and business people, and he would fly them and work on them, and his wife worked there with him. It was like his company, or at least he was high up in the company. So I got an email from his wife as well, and they said, we've got some UFO footage. Things are happening. We have seen UFOs up in flight, and we have video. And I said, oh, really? And they said, yeah. And of course, just to show you how real we are, so we're not wasting your time, they went ahead and sent me a couple of photographs, which I later posted on Twitter. They're still up there, where they printed out my logo and taped it to the side of one of these jumbo corporate jets.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. We got our jet now. We got our Secureteam jet. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. It was like they were very hell-bent on letting me know they were legit and not making it up, which I really appreciated. Because most people, it's the opposite. So it was really cool. So he said, yeah, I'll send you over the video. Not only that, he said, I'm also an amateur astronomer, and I have some moon videos that are going to blow your mind that I want to show you. So first, he sends me the video where they're up in this corporate jet. The jet looks empty, but it's him, his co-pilot, and his wife, or the stewardess there, dressed up as a stewardess, and they pan the camera out the window. And sure enough, out in the distance, maybe 10, 20 miles, a big, bright, glowing diamond, blue diamond, is tracking along with their plane. And I say, the first thing I saw this diamond, and again, the video's published somewhere. It may be in that video, but I'll have to post it again. This diamond immediately reminded me of the Cash Landrum incident, because I think that was back in the 70s or 80s. They're driving down the street. A massive diamond-shaped craft comes down, melts the metal on their car. They suffer from radiation burns on their arms. They lose hair. Big stories about it and reports when it happened. I think one of the women died because of the radiation, but it was a diamond-shaped craft, had Black Hawk helicopters following it. So I immediately thought about that sighting. And in that video, we have this blue glowing diamond. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. And they recorded it for a good few minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty.
Zooming out.
Right.
So then he sends me another clip, one of my other favorites. I mean, this guy, if I could just lock him down, and if he will just stop disappearing on me, this guy could run my channel single-handedly just with the footage he sends me, because it's that good. Because the very next piece of footage he sent in was from something he had captured through his telescope on our moon. So it says, Tyler, I zoomed up close on the moon with my telescope. Take a look what I caught slowly moving across the surface. I take a look at the video. It's zoomed in very close. You can see the detail of the crater. He must have had a really nice telescope. And sure enough, coming out of the Terminator line, out of the darkness, into the light, a perfect black triangle, slowly moving across the moon's surface, so close you could almost see the shadow of the triangle being cast down on the craters below. It wasn't one of these things where you're zooming the moon and a bird flies by,
right,
or a balloon floats by. This was zoomed in right up to the surface. This object, the dimension and the size of it was perfect for how close they were zoomed in. This thing slowly made its way, perfectly cut black triangle, turned, went in a different direction, before finally going out of the way of the moon and disappearing back into the darkness of space. Mind blown once again.
Yeah, that's a pretty trippy video.
Guy.
Yeah, that's a pretty trippy video. It looks like it comes out of the crater. Am I imagining that? No, right?
It could very well be. He pauses it a few times and enhances it, and just to show you exactly. And this damn thing looks like a TR-3B flying over the moon.
It looks, and the point of the triangle is the direction that it's going in. Yeah, that's a pretty amazing piece of footage right there.
Right. So he sends me that in the plane, and he had emailed me. He had sent me an email with a list of other videos he wanted me to check out. And I think I had already posted, or I had just posted the video showing the airplane footage. And I showed the picture of the where they had stuck my picture on the plane. So now their faces are kind of out there. I blurred them out, but you could tell, put two and two together, corporate fleet in Texas. About 2 days later, I get an email from his wife, really nice lady named Stacy, or something similar. Tells me, Tyler, I regret to tell you that after this email, we are going to be having to cut off all communication with you and with anybody on YouTube or anyone that has anything to do with UFOs or the researching of them. I go, what happened? She said, well, my husband has gotten into a bit of hot water over this. His superiors have found out what he's been doing. They know that he's a bit of a UFO research aficionado himself, and in no uncertain terms have told my husband, cut it out, stop bringing cameras on board, stop recording what you see, stop talking about it to people on YouTube, or you will lose your job. You will be done. So before I could even respond to her email and trying to at least say, well, look, don't just shut everything down and to where I can't get a hold of you again. At least give me something. Let's just try. I'm fighting to hold them off because I don't want them to disappear. But literally 5 minutes after she sent me that email, I go to reply. I get an instant response. This address does not exist. This email address does not exist. I go to send an email to her husband who sent me the other videos. This email has been closed and does not exist. Went to his channel at the time, which was called Two Fork, which I think stood for Texas UFO Investigation Center or something, but the name was Two Fork. Went to that channel, blank screen. This channel does not exist. Took the channel down.
Wow.
So this guy literally scrubbed everything, all his emails, every way I could have gotten into contact with him. Told me he was sorry, but I got to do it. It's my job or this. And that's when, shortly after I posted that video about how he was silenced, he was threatened to the point where he was done. They knew what he was onto. They knew what he was recording, and they did not want that info or that video out to guys like me. And he just went on lockdown. And I didn't hear from him for a couple of years at least. I would post videos every now and then saying, hey, man, if you're out there listening, I really miss talking to you. I would love to get more of your footage. I hope all is well and you didn't lose your job. Never heard anything back. Crazy update, real fast. Couple of weeks ago, I got an email. And because my email is so full with thousands each week, if you send me an email now, it'll automatically get backlogged between probably 10 pages of emails. So I had just happened to type in Two Fork because I wanted to search and see if this guy had maybe emailed me and I missed it. Sure enough, a single email popped up saying, Tyler, it's me, and I'm back. I've created a new YouTube channel.
Oh, man, just lost Tyler. Oh,
my UFO videos. And
wow. Okay, we got some crazy interference right now, Tyler.
You still there?
That is pretty trippy. Okay, I've lost you. Stay right there. Very strange interference coming in with Tyler. Wow. Let's take a quick break, and I'll see what's going on. This is Fade to Black. You've got to expect this kind of thing to happen. And you know what? I don't freak out anymore. I don't. That's why this is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Tyler Glockner, Secureteam. See what's going on. I'll be right back.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Tappy.
Hi folks, CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Tyler Glockner, Secureteam. His first interview. Doing pretty good, too. Gotta admit. Little practice, though. You've had a little practice, Tyler, but you don't get to rewind and overdub now. See, this is live. And so this is what happened, and you're going to go back and listen to this later, and you can post it if you want. I don't care. But as you started to talk about the running away of the executive jet guy and his wife, the interference started. Weird sounds
strange,
too. Yeah, weird.
I have an extremely high bandwidth internet service, and that almost never happens. So I don't know what's going on.
Your service combined with mine, it's a wide open freeway. Trust me, right? It's not about getting choked down. That was and it was the timing of it.
Yes,
so,
it was.
Well, you know what? And I don't even get affected anymore. I don't even care. It just, you get into these subjects. And when I was doing sports, Tyler, I didn't, for years, never one hiccup. Start talking about UFOs, man, and conspiracies. It was just the first time I freaked, and now it's just you got to play the game. This is what I wanted to ask you. We all know about the impact of December of 2017 in the New York Times and what happened there with all of the mass media, and 2018 seemed to be a movement towards disclosure, like something was about to happen. What do you think? What's your take on that? Are we moving towards disclosure? Do you think there's some movement in that direction?
Well, I mean, I would like to think that we've been moving toward it this entire time. I mean, I know there's these sites like QAnon, and there's a lot of people out there who seem to somehow know, according to them, that something big is going to happen. But to be honest, and I don't want to sound like I'm smarter than I am or I know more than I do when I don't, but I mean, I haven't seen anything yet that would tell me that we're in for anything big. I think just the opposite. I think the cover-up is ramping up into overtime, and I think that we are seeing more disinformation injected than we ever have. I think that we are seeing censorship on YouTube in a crazy wave with channels similar to mine. Of course, Alex Jones being the biggest, although I'm not a big listener of his. He was the first, and they are using him to take down and or to demonetize other what they call conspiracy theory channels. It's a very easy way for them to silence people who talk about what we talk about. We all know that the CIA and these other countries and these other companies, NSA, have their tentacles in Facebook, in Google. They're bought in. They control it all. They get all the data. So I wouldn't put it past them that they got together, which they did actually in terms of Alex Jones. They all got together over a single 24-hour period and decided to coordinate and take down Alex Jones so he could not stop or so that he could not continue talking about these conspiracy theories. So I do think it's a big year for censorship. I think the when you put your pulse on the internet today, it's all about getting offended. And I think that people aren't so offended as I think that they want us to think that everyone is offended so that these companies can have the right to take channels down for whatever reason. Now, soon enough, you're going to hear how conspiracy theory channels or aliens or UFOs are just too scary for the kids or for the listeners out there. And so they're not friendly. They're not advertiser friendly, and they're going to need to go down. I'm surprised my channel is still up. Now, you could say that they are ramping this up because something is going to happen, and because they know that channels like mine and other major researchers are getting information out, really solid information. So this could be their way of attacking that with the censorship. So I guess you could say that could be a reason. But me personally, I haven't seen anything yet that would tell me that anything is imminent. I think that each year that goes by, we are getting more and more information. I think each year we're getting more explosive revelations, more footage, more people waking up to the truth. And I think that scares them. But as far as being a psychic and saying, yes, this is going to happen or not, I just can't say. I think it's disingenuous for anyone to say that they believe, or they can say with authority that something is indeed going to happen, because I don't know anyone who could tell me what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right. And speaking about that and running interference, when the interference kicked in, you started to say that you got one last email from the pilot.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's finish that.
Yep. So years go by, heard nothing. Suddenly I decide to look this guy up in my Gmail inbox, see if he sent me anything. And I must have just been lucky that day, because I find a single email with his name on it that he had sent a week before. So I was a week late to get to it. Opened up the email. It says, Tyler, I'm back. I've got this new YouTube channel. I've got new videos that I've caught from these planes and stuff, and I'd be happy to talk with you about it. So mind you, it's been a week, but still, I'm happy as a schoolgirl. And so I'm typing as fast as I can to say, hey man, I missed you. You have no idea how many people have been asking about you over these past couple of years. Go to hit send. Boom. This address does not exist. And that was it.
Wow. And so what about the YouTube channel?
And the YouTube channel was gone. It was like all over again. When I didn't get back to him within that week, or whatever happened with him in that week that caused him to backpedal super quick, whatever it was all gone, just like before. Website's gone, YouTube's gone, email deactivated. And that was it. We were at square one, just like we were 2 years before. And I got to say, I was almost heartbroken, because I had kind of talked to this guy. He had amazing footage. He proved that he was on these jets. And it was heartbreaking, because how many people like that do you really find that you can say, okay, this is a solid, legit source who can get me legit footage? And it's hard these days. So, yeah, I'm hoping one day, one glorious morning, I'll wake up and see another email from the guy. And I hope he's listening now and know that you'll be protected, you'll be supported, and you shouldn't have to hide for fear of things. But unfortunately, that's how they get you today. They threaten your job, your livelihood. With the internet, you can't say anything on Twitter even without losing your job. So it's a scary time to live in, and it's a scary time to be talking about things that the government doesn't want you to.
Have you gotten an email from the government? I mean, with the government email address?
No, not that I can remember or recall, or that I've at least gotten to. Right now, I've got about 80,000 emails just in one of my Secureteam email boxes. A good half of those I haven't gotten to yet because of the rate that they're coming in each day. It's to the point where I have to hire help. But of the ones that I've read, no, I haven't gotten an official email from the government. And I'm not so sure that that's the way they would even do it if they were going to threaten me. They have much more sneaky ways. And I highly doubt that they would think that a simple email would be enough to scare me into shutting anything down, because it wouldn't. All I would do would be to plaster it in a new video on the channel and put them on blast.
Right.
So,
right.
But as far as that, no, not that I know of. I may get one after this interview, after talking smack about him for everyone to hear, but no, I haven't gotten anything that goes to that yet.
What do you use in your mind to choose what video that you're going to work on?
Well, it could be a combination of things, but usually it's just I wake up. I'm sort of an insomniac, which most of the people know. The second name of the channel has become Secureteam because I rarely sleep. I usually stay up for days and then finally sleep, and that's just the way I'm built, I guess. I come alive at night and then I just kind of stay up. So I usually get on the computer, check the Secureteam email, see what people have sent in, kind of check the mainstream news to see if anything big has happened. And I just try to get a sense of all of it together before picking out, 3 or 4 main topics, maybe a little bit of news, maybe a few UFO videos or pictures, maybe an update to a past video that I just found out about. So it's pretty much on the fly every day. I don't have a set schedule or a set list of what I'm going to be doing for the next week. It's pretty much wake up, see what we're dealing with, and just rapid fire get it up on the channel.
What have you seen trends from either locations in the United States or around the world from countries where the activity has been higher?
Certainly. As the topic grows, you're without a doubt going to see higher numbers from other countries. Brazil has always been a huge UFO-loving country. A lot of traffic from Brazil, Australia, Germany, China not so much, but China is kind of an anomaly. They're kind of in their own little world over there, and they have their own restrictions on their internet and what they can watch and not watch. But I do get some viewers from there. But of course, I get a lot of viewers from Mexico, Canada. The UK is another big one. Australia, Germany, Budapest. Someone sent me a picture of a woman there who is wearing a Secureteam hoodie from Budapest, and some of the smaller countries. So it certainly has gone worldwide, and it's very humbling. And just to see the truth seeker community rising up from the biggest city and state and country to the littlest, teeniest borough or town, in the Mideast. It's truly an amazing sight to see, and that they'd all want to watch me, especially when there's so many other great researchers out there. I try to tell people that, look, I'm just the messenger, because I think granted, I'm probably one of the most well-known names now in ufology, at least on YouTube. I have a lot of viewers. Something I've done has propelled me up there. And so with that, you get a lot of people who come to me thinking that I'm now the authority on everything aliens or UFOs or conspiracies, when I'm certainly not. I'm just a guy from Ohio posting things I like. I wouldn't even say I'm a traditional researcher. I like to look at this channel as more of sort of an outflow, a data dump where I can get data in quick and post it, the raw video, the raw photos, and here it is. You guys make up your mind. There's so many people who are much bigger than me and do much harder work, but I think I have my place. But I just want people to know I'm not the authority on everything. I make mistakes. I do my best, though, and I have fun with it. It's a passion. And I think that's what draws people to me, is because I try to stay neutral, and I say, this is what I got. I'm not going to tell you that I know 100%. I don't have a direct line to some secret source somewhere. And I'm just going to give you what I see, and we'll make a decision together. And I think that's way more fun. And in today's age, I think that's what you have to do. You have to get the media out there. You have to get the UFO videos, the pictures. That's what people want to see. There's certainly a place for that, but there's also places for other researchers who travel and do the hard-hitting work and get interviews and really do the nitty-gritty stuff. People are doing stuff that I probably couldn't do, because I'm just suited for YouTube, and I'm happy with what I'm doing, and people seem to be happy with that.
Has there been one city that has more UFO activity, more videos coming out of it than others?
That's a tough one. I would have to crunch some numbers on that. But I would say, obviously, there's a lot coming out of Nevada, Oregon. Oregon has a lot, oddly enough. California, Mexico, again, Mexico and Brazil. UFOs love Brazil for some reason. I don't know what it is. South America, Canada. There was a report out recently that was among the top for UFO sightings in the world. So I can't say what it is that makes UFOs or their pilots, whether they're from off-world or not, choose where they do their business. But it seems to be happening pretty much everywhere.
What did you think about the FAA releases that happened about 6 months ago of the sightings that were happening? The one over Oregon, you just mentioned Oregon, and the other one in between Albuquerque and I think it was like Tucson. And and for the FAA to release these, which were tremendous sightings, and one involved F-15s up in Oregon. But
Right.
that was really strange to have the FAA release those. What do you think was behind that? Did you hear them?
Yeah, the day that happened, I posted a video about it and played the recordings of what happened over Oregon. And God bless whoever it was in the FAA who released those. I think it goes to show that the government and its institutions, while there are compartments who would like to keep this covered up, I think there are a lot of lone wolves out there who are appreciative of what we're doing. They understand it, and they do their best to get information out when they can. So God bless them. And yeah, those tapes were amazing. And I've always said that when you're looking at the most credible sightings you can think of for this topic, almost the first one I go to is either probably abduction cases, but the main one would be pilot sightings, because who better than the people who are actually up there in the sky who can get a close-up of these things. I think pilots they're well-trained. They can be, they're extremely trustworthy. They love their jobs, and they care about what they do, and they are trained to look for these things. So when you hear recordings that they have spotted something on radar over Oregon going at an extreme rate of speed, they scramble jets to go up and find it. The thing outruns the jets easily and then disappears off radar to the point where they just lose the thing and have to fly back to base with their tails between their legs. I mean, that, in my opinion, is some of the most concrete evidence out there. And that's not to say it was aliens. Could have easily been humans flying some secret technology, but it's one of the two. And how do we know that technology isn't based on alien technology we recovered? But the point is, FAA tapes, in my opinion, are as good as gold in this topic as far as credibility goes. I love hearing them. One of the biggest, in my opinion, if I had to pick the number one sighting that I would tell people about that, in my opinion, proves that aliens exist, the number one sighting out of all the many greats, it would have to be the Japan Airlines flight. I think it was back in the 1980s. I can't think of the exact flight number, but Japanese air flight. They're flying in a 737 or something similar. Giant flying saucers appear coming up from underneath the belly of the plane. All of the pilots witness it. Giant flying saucers that just dwarfed this 737. I think they saw a total of 3 craft altogether, including the giant saucer that tracked this plane. They saw the vents on these things, the light, the propulsion. The stewardess and the pilots on board all witnessed it. Pilot came down, even drew pictures of it. I mean, there was even there were recordings from it. Stuff like that sends chills down my spine, because it tells me, especially after a bad day of reading hate or troll comments telling me that I'm a waste of space and this is all nonsense, that stuff gives me hope, hearing about stuff like that. And that is why I think pilot sightings are some of the most credible, if not the most credible.
Do you, and we're at the end of the show, and I don't want to get out of here without saying thank you. It was an amazing conversation tonight, Tyler. But
certainly,
out of all of your videos, I haven't seen everything. Lots of UFO and craft. But did anybody ever send you in a video of an alien, of a gray, of something else?
That's a tough one as well. I've been sent in videos that purport to show aliens that were from other sources and that I kind of picked up on. Now, I've also been sent videos of, the sort of hunting cameras that the hunters put out there, and they're like infrared, and you might see something strange moving in the bushes. But as far as a video of a bona fide alien that I could make out just walking down the street, I don't believe so, or at least I haven't come across the footage yet. I think that type of footage, I know it's what everyone wants. That would be the end all be all, and I could probably shut down the channel afterwards if footage like that came out. And I know other footage like it has come out, but a lot of it, you don't know if it's real or not. It's tough when you're dealing with that. And my question is, would alien beings even allow themselves to be videoed? Would they even get themselves in a pickle to where they were down on Earth to where they could be videoed? But it would be amazing to get a video of an actual alien being. But, if I don't get one right now or for a while, I won't be heartbroken. I think all of the other footage of these craft and these eyewitness testimony and the abductions and the FAA tapes and all of it put together, let's just say out of all of my videos, just 10% of it was legit and all of the other was something mundane, natural, then that I feel like I've accomplished what I set out to do. If 10% of it is real, well, then that means, my friend, that all of these other sightings happening around the world, those are real. And those people are seeing something, and that there's a good chance that what those people are seeing is of an off-world nature. And that is disclosure, in my opinion. Some people think disclosure needs to come from the president walking out on TV, as you said, but I think disclosure can just be as powerful when you have us putting out raw footage, FAA tapes, radar data, and things of that nature that I think lumped together prove what we already know, which is that something is going on. It's been going on. I don't really think there should be even a debate anymore whether we are being visited. I think the truth is, and people know it deep down, we are. It's just a matter of how much more better footage of it can we get, and we'll see the answer to that in the future on Secureteam.
We've got about 90 seconds left, Tyler. What is up next?
Well, it's tough. As you know, I just did the interview with Bob Lazar. That was amazing. I told my viewers I don't know if I can top that because it's just such a cool topic. But you know what? We're going to keep pushing on. I think there's always going to be something bigger and better and more devastating to the skeptics that is going to be coming out. And you can bet that Secureteam's going to be at the forefront of that. I'm out here grinding every night, sleepless nights and all, trying to get the best stuff I can out on the channel. And I just want to say thank you for having me on. Thank you to all the fans for believing in me. Thank you to the skeptics for just listening to what I have to say and keeping an open mind. And to everyone who is new to this topic, go down the rabbit hole with us. Don't shut your eyes and ears to it. Keep learning. I promise you will find out some amazing things, and I love to be there doing it with you.
Thank you so much, Tyler, and congratulations and much success to you in the future. And I can't wait to get you back on, man. And if you do get into doing interviews over at Secureteam, you can give me a call, man. I'll come over and visit you anytime you want. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jimmy. This has been awesome, and I'm definitely open to doing that. So you know where to get hold of me.
Yeah, let's do some live radio. I'll talk to you, Tyler.
All right, buddy.
Behave.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Tyler Glockner, Secureteam. And the links for Tyler, everybody knows where Tyler is at. But if you don't, you can go and click on his links over at jimmychurchradio.com. And with that, tomorrow night is Fader Night. It will be open lines all night long. We have Teresa Yannaris here with Divine Frequency on the airwaves. This week, having the influencers on, this is what I find so impressive about this community. Like I said earlier, we have those that came before us, but I am most impressed right now about the future of this community and ufology, and I think we are on very, very solid footing, and Tyler Glockner is right there at the front helping all of this get done. And with that, I will thank all of you for hanging out with us tonight. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Tyler on Twitter at Secureteam. With that, I'm going to get out of here. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA The Planet. This broadcast only copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thanks to Tyler Glockner. I'll see everybody tomorrow night for Fader Night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Until then, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.